Today is the day Divine Mother gave Karthikeya the Shakti way. So there are 12 weapons he needed to battle the Asuras, Sharagasura, Simha, all of them to fight them. He needed those weapons. So Shiva Bhagavan and Mother gave them 12 weapons. The 12th weapon is the Shakti way. That's a symbolic of piercing our deepest part of us and convey the truth of reality. What is real, what is unreal, all those is conveyed with that wisdom, with that knowledge. That's why it's called Shakti way. And that removes the asuric covering that we all had. I don't want to use the word dirt, but it is dirt in a spiritual sense. But the minute we are born, we carry whatever we carried in the past, all the karmic dirt, we carry it. Our aim is to cleanse that dirt and understand reality, who we are, where we came from, where we have to go, what is the aim of it. Our aim is to understand the self, the Atma. That is reality. That is the only reality. Anything else is unreal. But we need them. We need those covering. Within that we evolve. Each life we evolve to a degree where we cleanse ourselves. The cleaning process is the most important process. And Karthikeya, which is great, shows us how you control the asuras, how we battle them, how we defeat them, and most importantly, make them serve you. That is a beautiful part. Make the asuras serve you. And he did that. And he says, you learned that. All the asuras, who are they? Fundamental asura would be ignorance. The ignorance of our real nature. We are divine, we came from her. We are divine, but we don't know that. So that ignorance is fundamental. That would be the first asura, the ignorance of us, ignorance of reality. Then there is Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all those spiritual impurities. I don't want to use the word dirt. It's impurity because it stops us from knowing who we are, where we came from, why we are here, where we are going from here. All this fundamental truth, the Shakti way reveals it. The wisdom of reality reveals it. So that is the final weapon she gives. And today is the day, the auspicious day. She gives him that weapon with which he slays the asuras. And the asuras serve him. And symbolically, they serve us. If you follow his teaching, if you have his grace, Karthikeya is the most powerful God because he is a commander of all the divine forces. So if you have his grace, you can do that. And today is a symbolic day. On this day, you come and watch this and do the Abhishek. Each one of us did this Abhishek. You think you did this. And anyone who knows about this function, who sees it from wherever they are, any part of the world, if they watch it or if they think of it, it's all mental. If they think of it intensely, Abhishekam with all the love and affection and the reverence, we use all the devotees and we bathe him and we show our love. So fundamentally, it's all emotional. And if you can do that on this day and this place, it is Mother's house, she's building it. On this place, if you do it, it's the most auspicious act. So today, we participated in that auspicious act. And whoever watches it, they will get if they think of it, they have to know who Karthikeya represents who Valli Devayani represents. Today is the day he marries Valli. Symbolically, today is the day. So on this day, the energy is more intense. So on this day, she has given us the blessing, the grace of being here and doing the wonderful Abhishekam. I don't know if you watched all the things they used. Everything needed, they had it and they used it and they did the Abhishekam. You, me, each one of us did it. That is the way Mother accepts here. Anyone who comes and observes Abhishekam or Homa, you are doing it. The priests symbolically do that because we need a person who's knowledgeable in Vedas, Shastra, and that person does it on our behalf. For the world, because she knows this is dangerous time, whether you know it or not. Many, many dangerous. COVID is just one. There are many, many worse things are waiting. And she will protect us from that. Symbolically, she says, build my house and my cosmic energies, millions of them. Lakshmis, Mohinis, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, they're all here. They will come and protect the world against the Asuras. And we have felt the Asuras here. And today, in Himalayas, a place called Gauri Kund, where the creation started, there is a Swami, his name is Swami Masila Mani. Masila Mani. He's doing a special homa for us in Himalayas, in Gauri Kund, which is very close to, it's about 7,000 feet. And he's doing a special homa on our behalf because we cannot do homa here. So that part is covered by him. So you think of him. In Gauri Kund, he does homa on our behalf. His name is Swami Masalamani. He is the head of Vaidiswaran temple. Wonderful soul, I met him. He's in his middle 70s, very bright, very alert, and a wonderful soul. So he said, I will go myself and stay there in Himalayas and do this function on your behalf. So for us, he's doing it. That means we are doing it in Himalayas. So it's a wonderful day and you have to know all these facts. If you don't know it, you don't appreciate it. And if you don't perceive it, it doesn't happen. It's not real. Everything is perception. And perceive it this way. Today we did a home in Himalayas for Karthikeya. So today is that most auspicious day. And there are many mythological stories connected to this. You have to remember Yudhimban. You know who Yudhimban is? Yudhimban is the person who carried the cow first. Divine gave him to take the 2 hills that he was carrying it. He kept it and took back. At that time, Karthikeya came and he won't let him take it. So he had to fight Karthikeya. Then he realized he's fighting divine. And then he got his grace. And then he carried his. Symbolically, what they are is our karmic baggage. It's truly a baggage. So you carry it. And symbolically, when you carry thinking of Karthikeya, chanting, Veil, Shakti Veil, then your Atman realizes what happened, who he was and what he did, and who Yudhimban was, and what the Kavadi represents. So on that day, you make sacrifices. In India, you might have seen, it's a self-molestation. Our Vedas don't recommend it, but sacrifice, penance is the way I assume. There's no pain, there's no gain. Voluntarily do you take it? I don't know. If she gives it, that is different. So on this day, all this are done. They walk in fire. So self-molestation, but it's an act of sacrifice. If you do it with faith, you are able to do that. Ultimately, it goes back to faith. So on this day, we should think of all that. Most importantly, think of Karthikeya being given the Shakti veil, with which he destroys the Asuras and makes them serve him. And hopefully, they will serve us. And I told you who the Asuras are. They're all in us every second, every minute, every second. So if you control them, how? With His grace. Ultimately, what is needed is grace. And this place, it is full of it, abundantly present. Because she's building the house for us. Because she knows this is Kali Yuga, and this period is very dangerous, and many, many bad things will happen. Asuras will have their say. And we have seen many, many episodes when we see the Asuras being active and they manifest. But ultimately, she is the mother. So when we do Varahi Homa here, they come and we take them out and leave them with respect, with reverence. Even though they are Asuras, we tell them, don't stay with us. We need you too, because we do need Asuric energy to protect innocent. So we use them and then we take them with respect. Ours is probably the only religion which accepts and acknowledges, not accepts, acknowledges the existence of Asuras. And also acknowledges she is the mother of both Devas and Asuras. And Asuras are created for a reason, to tempt us, to make it hard on us. So we have something to overcome and challenge and battle. If we don't have that, how do we evolve? So that is a challenge. She created us. But she also given us the ability to overcome them. Different level. Different level we overcome them. And it's not easy. It takes sacrifice. So next thing you think of is sacrifice. Sacrifice is needed. And with that, you get the grace. And that's the key word. Ultimately, jnana can carry you. Wisdom can carry you. But ultimately, it's the grace. Divine herself should want you to come back to her. And we are going, we're all traveling, we're all travelers. Different distance, we are traveling together. And she leads us, she shows us the way. And all this Puranas, Shastras, Vedas, Itihasas, they give you the story in a story-like fashion, so we can understand and grow with that. These are all very important. These Puranas, Vedas are very important because we believe abstractly you cannot understand. You have to really know them. You have to develop a relationship with them. To develop relationship, you need something you can perceive. Cannot be abstract. Abstract things are very difficult to imagine and also develop a relationship. And our religion is alive. There has to be a relationship. She is in us every second. She helps us. She leads us. She shows us the path. And she helps us to journey. And we are all travelers. Different distance, but we are travelers. And we will reach it. That's what she always tells me. Don't rush. You have eternity. I have given you eternity. Hundreds, thousands of lifetimes you can have it. Take it and grow. But ultimately, come back to me. I will take you back with me. We'll all be one again at the time of dissolution. When, I don't know, it will happen one day. There will be a great crunch. Everything will go back to the origin. And then again, the thing will start. There are multiverses, multiple universes. You can't even fathom. Now they're finding exoplanets. There's so many things they're finding. Science will show us that we are just a small part of a big design, a big thing. And it's fascinating as science advances. We have gadgets. When we have better gadgets, we are able to observe more. Right now, we don't have. We are looking at our backyard. That's all we are doing now. Look at it, we are trying to probe Mars more.
We have not even left our backyard. There's a huge world out there. We are just starting to probe, starting to leave our house and look at outside and see the backyard. Mars, now we are probing Mars. So it will take eternity, it will take a long time. But she has given us the time. The time doesn't have any meaning. Once you leave this restriction, mind, body, intellect, ego restriction, once you leave it, time doesn't have any meaning. Billion years would be like a 1 second. She has given us all that. Our universe is 14.5 billion or somewhere there. But there are many universes. Now the word is multiverse. So you cannot even fathom. But understand, we are still part of her. The consciousness still exists, and that is eternal. There's no beginning, there's no end. We all came together, we'll go back together. All these functions we have, it makes us remember who we are, what does he represent, what does Bali represent, what does Devyani represent. And today you should think of Agastya Bhagavan. And actually one of our devotees building this temple in India for Agastya and Yogamudra. And I think they started it last week. He sent me some pictures of construction. So Agastya was very important. Today you should think of him. Agastya and Yogamudra, and they were very Puripadi Siddhar, many Siddhars. And there's one sitting right there. So you think of all of them, and then you get the grace. Ultimately, you need grace. That means you have to understand them and then relate to them. Have a relationship with those forces. And they're all divine forces. This place is full of them. And we are very fortunate that she herself designs the temple. She builds the temple and gives it to us. That never happens. Humans build temples. Divine doesn't. But here is an exception because she knows this is Kali Yuga and this is the worst part of it and we are going to face it. So she wants us to be ready for it, wants us to have the protection. For that, she does. So some of the Sannidhanams you will see, you have not seen any of them yet in the building behind. There's going to be 33 of them, 33 Sannidhanam. Very unusual deities. You probably wouldn't have even heard about them. But we need that energy. Each one is a cosmic energy. They give a form and a name, but ultimately, fundamentally, it's a cosmic energy of Divine Mother, which exists in us too, but in a rudimentary, inactive form. We have to activate it. To do that, we need a place. We need the grace. And this place has both. And also, you need to perform certain functions on certain tithi, certain days. So here she has given us all, your place and the knowledge and the wisdom. Gauri Kund, I was there on your behalf about a year ago. Beautiful place, Gauri Kund, where she started the creation. Shiva Shakti split into Shiva and Shakti. She sends Shiva to Kailash, won't do the dissolving, dissolutory function. I'll do the creative function. What does she do? She goes to Gauri Kund and meditates for thousands and thousands of years about us and writes our story, all our stories. And that is being acted upon for the past 4 billion years. And that is the story of the creation. That is in Gauri Kund. On that place, we are doing Homa for Karthikeya. See how auspicious it is. And you should know that. If you don't know that, you would not feel it. Ultimately, everything is perception. Perception is reality, but you have to perceive it. Today, think of all that. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. And Tai Poosam is a very powerful constellation. The 27 constellation, I think 17 science knows they exist. Rest of it, science doesn't even know, but they are there. And they are the one which generates energy to keep the universe expanding. The universe is expanding. In fact, it's expanding faster than it was before. Every second it's moving. At one point it will stop, and then probably a big crunch, maybe she'll become one again. We don't know how it will end. But as of now, it is still expanding. And that expansion is the energy of it is a dark energy. There's a dark mass and the dark energy. Dark mass is mother. Dark energy would be probably Ayyappa. That aspect is very important. Okay, it keeps the movement going. That's the reason why Ayyappa doesn't need anything. Just surrender. Because what he needs, you cannot give it. Because it's too complex and we cannot even understand. Just surrender to him and he will keep you moving. Because he is probably the dark energy. Thank you.